Hey, what's up guys, my name is Parvinder and you are watching the complete Wi-Fi hacking course which is available on Udemy as a paid course. However, I have made this course for free of cost for my YouTube audience. So please support me by watching this course completely online as it will help me to increase my watching hours and then I will be able to monetize my channel. I have many other courses on ethical hacking and Raspberry Pi. If you will show your support to this course, then I will make sure to make them available for free of cost on YouTube. The content you are watching in this course comes under the wireless penetration testing, which is purely the subjective part of cybersecurity. So this is humble request to YouTube not to flag the video or mark it as inappropriate, because we have done the lab setup of routers and other devices that we are trying to hack. So nobody is harmed and we haven't hacked anyone while making this video, and I also request the viewers to perform all the steps in a lab setup only. Do not try to hack anyone's router, keep it ethical and keep yourself safe. Now let's head over to the video.
Hey, what's going on guys, this is Parvinder and you are watching the demo video of Learn Extreme Wi-Fi Hacking from Scratch. What you can expect from this course is, if you don't have any knowledge of Linux operating system, then you are going to get that particular knowledge. And I have divided this course into the three parts. First part is the installation and second part is attack which you can perform before gaining the access to the router, and third part is how to gain access to the router. So the very first part will let you set up Kali Linux operating system into your Windows machine, which you can use for several purposes. Like you can use it for the Metasploit attacks, you can use this setup for the wireless penetration testing, which I will be doing in upcoming videos. And you can use same setup for learning Kali Linux as well. So I will tell you these things in detail when you will join this particular course. And the second part of this course is the attack which you can perform before gaining access to the router. Okay, so let us suppose that we haven't gained the access to the router. It means we are not able to hack that particular router, but still you can perform so many attacks. Like you can sniff a particular router and see packet information which are coming to the router and coming from the router. Okay, and you can also deauthenticate the client connected to the Wi-Fi router. Suppose there is your friend who lives in your neighborhood and you wanted to disconnect all the client connected to your friend's router, then you can do it guys. And for disconnecting them, you don't need to connect to his particular router. It means you will be able to deauthenticate all the clients connected to your friend's router without actually connecting yourself to his router. Okay, and I will also tell you about the MAC changer, which you can use for changing your MAC address so that you can hide your identity. Okay, and I will also tell you about WEP hacking attacks like the Fake-Authentication, ARP replay attack, Fragment attack and chop attack. So these are the kind of attack which you haven't heard before, but I will cover all of these attacks in detail. And you must have heard of brute force attack for hacking the WPA and WPA2 Wi-Fi router. I will not only tell you how to capture the handshake, but I will also tell you the latest tools which you can use for hacking the WPA and WPA2 Wi-Fi router. And last but not least, I will also tell you that how you can do the social engineering attack to get the password of the Facebook accounts. So this is going to be an amazing course for you guys, no matter what, if you have knowledge of Kali Linux or not. So just join this particular course and see the magic of learning.
In this tutorial, we are going to talk about how we can install Kali Linux on VMware. Let's head over to the Kali Linux website, and as you can see over here, we are on the Kali Linux website, and now we will click on download. As soon as you click on download, you see the two versions over here. First is installer image, second one is virtual machine. Since we are installing this Kali Linux on the VMware player, so we'll click on the virtual machines, and my system is 64-bit, so I will choose this version. This is the correct package for the VMware, so I'll click on that link. It will take some time to get download. As you can see, our Kali Linux has been downloaded, and that is downloaded into the .7zip format. So first we will have to extract it with the WinRAR, and I've extracted it over here. Now what I will do is I will go inside the VMware Workstation player, which I have already installed before. You can find it anywhere on the Google. Now we will click on the player and then we will go to the file and click on open. You will head over to the directory where your VMX file is available, and this folder is extracted from the 7-zip file that we have downloaded. So we will click on open. Once you do that, you need to click on play virtual machine. Now let me just log into it. Now the default username will be Kali and the password is also Kali. However, you can change it from the operating system itself.
In this tutorial, I am going to tell you that how you can set up your Kali Linux 2016.2, which we have just installed in the previous tutorial. So when we have installed the Kali Linux into our VMware workstation, we have only allotted the 512 MB RAM, and if you have not allotted that RAM, then by default it will automatically gonna take 512 MB RAM. So we have to allot more RAM to the Kali Linux 2016.2 because it was very slow when we were using that Kali Linux. So let's allot some more RAM into the Kali Linux, and here I am using the Acer laptop, and this laptop is having the i3 processor and my laptop is having the 8 GB RAM. So let's open up our virtual machine. Now let me click on the Kali Linux, and then you need to go to the player, manage, virtual machine settings. I am going to assign 3 GB RAM to my virtual machine because I am having the 8 GB RAM into my laptop. So if you are having the 4 GB RAM in your laptop, then do not go above 1.5 GB RAM. Similarly, if you are having the 2 GB RAM, then do not go above 756 MB RAM, okay? Because your host operating system requires more RAM than your guest operating system, okay? So click on OK. Now what I am going to do is I will simply click on player again, and then I will go to the manage and virtual machine settings, and by default I will check out the network adapter, and the network adapter is set to net. It means it will gonna share the host IP address. So I just wanted to tell you, you should check out these settings, okay? Now click on OK. Now what I am going to do is I will connect my LAN cable which is coming out from my router into my laptop. Okay guys, so now I have connected the LAN cable into my laptop. Now it will gonna provide me the internet access. Let me power on my virtual machine. Hit enter. So we have done two settings into our virtual machine. First of all, we have allotted more RAM to our Kali Linux, and second one, we have made the internet connectivity to the Kali Linux. Okay, the only way to provide the internet access to our virtual machine is to use the LAN cable. Okay, if you will make the use of external USB Wi-Fi adapter, then you will only be able to use it for one time. Either you can use that external USB Wi-Fi adapter for your laptop, or you can use that external USB Wi-Fi adapter for your virtual machine. So it's better to use the LAN cable because that LAN cable will gonna provide the internet access to both of the operating system. Let me enter the default username and let me enter the password. Now what I am going to do is I am going to check the connection between my Windows machine and my Kali Linux. Since I have connected my LAN cable, so I must have the Ethernet interface up. Now what I am going to do is I will simply see the available interfaces, and we have the Ethernet 0 and the loopback interface. Now I will check out my IP address, and you can see guys, I have the Ethernet 0 up and its IP address is this. Now let me check out the IP address of my Windows machine. Let me type in here ipconfig-all. Now this is the IP address of my Windows machine, that is 192.168.1.5. Now let me ping my Windows machine from the Kali Linux .168.1.5, and you can see guys, I am able to ping my Windows machine. Now let me ping my Kali Linux from my Windows machine. Kali Linux IP address is 192.168.199.128. So let me ping it via Windows machine. Simply type in here ping 192.168.19.128, hit enter, and they can see guys, my Windows machine is able to ping the Kali Linux. Okay, it means both machines can talk with each other. Now let me see the internet connectivity into my Kali Linux. Open up your Firefox browser. It comes with the Firefox browser by default, and they can see guys, I am able to open the Google. Let me open the youtube.com. And you can see guys, I am able to browse onto my Kali Linux as well. It means we have the perfect internet connectivity into our Kali Linux machine, and we have allotted more RAM as well. Now we are ready to do the penetration testing. Thanks for watching guys, and see you in the next tutorial. Because we have no external adapter connected to it, but it must have created some internal virtual interface. So let's try to do the iwconfig, and there it is. It has the Ethernet 0 and the loopback interface. So we have to connect external wireless card to be able to hack the Wi-Fi networks. Okay, so what we will gonna do is, I have the TP-Link USB Wi-Fi adapter, so I will connect that Wi-Fi adapter into my laptop. Now the external USB Wi-Fi adapter has been connected. Now what I will do is, I'll try to do the iwconfig again. Okay guys, so now we have connected the external USB Wi-Fi adapter, which is the WLAN0. Now let's try to enable the monitor mode. So before we further proceed on to the monitor mode, I wanted to talk about the monitor mode. Actually there are two types of mode present into a wireless card. First one is the managed mode, which is opted by the wireless card by default, and second one is the monitor mode. Okay, onto the managed mode we can connect to anyone's Wi-Fi with the credentials, but onto the monitor mode we can inject the packet to some router. We can do more things which we cannot do onto the managed mode. Okay, so that's the reason why we put our wireless card onto the monitor mode, to hack the Wi-Fi and all these things. So here I'm using the TP-Link USB Wi-Fi adapter. So this USB Wi-Fi adapter supports the monitor mode, and it doesn't require any kind of driver to be installed in the Kali Linux operating system. So now what I'm going to do is, I'll try to enable the monitor mode. So for enabling the monitor mode, all you need to do is to just type in here airmon ng start WLAN0, hit enter, and when you will gonna do this, then let's do the iwconfig, and there it is, WLAN0 mon. So the monitor mode has been enabled on the WLAN0, and the WLAN0 interface is no more available, and it has been replaced via WLAN0 mon. So now what you need to do is, let's check if our WLAN0 mon is working or not. So let's scan all the networks around us via command called aerodump ng. ng. Now we need to specify the interface, and interface should be of the monitor mode. So I'm going to type in here WLAN0 mon, hit enter. Now when I will do this, then I will be able to see all the available Wi-Fi around me. Okay guys, so these are the available Wi-Fi around me, and here we have the VSSID. It means the MAC addresses of every single router which are in the range of our USB Wi-Fi adapter, and there are 4 routers found here. The data, it means the packets traveling between the routers and the stations. Okay, so this router is quite active. It means it is continuously sending the packets. People are using this particular router very frequently. Okay, but all these 3 routers are in the passive state. It means either there is no client connected to all of these routers, or it may happen that the client are connected to the Wi-Fi router, but they are not using the Wi-Fi router right now. Okay, so this is the Ninja router, which is quite active, and these are the stations which are connected to the corresponding routers. So here it is E006. This is the MAC address which is connected to this particular router, that is 908D, and 908D is the Ninja router. Okay, and 8C77165D, this is connected to the 2C:30, and 2C:30 is the movie router. Okay, so if you wanted to capture the information of particular router, then how you will gonna do this? For capturing the information of particular router, what you need to do is, you need to simply type in here aerodump ng, and then B stand for the BSSID, and BSSID is, suppose I wanted to see the connected client of the Ninja router, then what I will do is, I will simply copy this MAC address, which is the MAC address of the Ninja router. Okay, and let's put the channel name is 1, and the interface name,
and interface name is WLAN0mon, and hit enter. So it is saying invalid band. Maybe we have to put the BSSID here, dash dash BSSID, and here we need to put the channel, I guess. And they can see, guys, this Ninja router have the two clients connected to it. First one is the E006. Now it has the 3 client connected to it. Now they can see data is increasing at very high rate. It means this router is quite active. The traffic on this router is very high. So what we can do here is we can do the sniffing of these stations which are connected to the BSSID. So for doing the sniffing, what you need to do is you need to simply press the Ctrl C to stop this process. Now what I will do is I will simply type in here write, because I wanted to write all the packets which are flowing from this router to somewhere else. I wanted to write it into the test file and hit enter. Now what will gonna happen, it will write all the data packets which are coming from this Wi-Fi router into a file called test. Let's give it some time. Now let's press the Ctrl C, do the ls here, and they can see, guys, we have put the file name as test, but it has already created the 4 file here, test01.cap, test01.csv, and all these files. Now what I am going to do is I am going to look for these packets in the detail. So for that I am going to make the use of Wireshark. So I am going to open the Wireshark by typing the Wireshark command in the terminal. Hit enter. Now it is taking a bit of time. And there we go. Now it is loading the modules. Now it is giving us warning. So let's click on OK. Now what I'm going to do is I will give it a file and click on this icon, that is open a captured file. And we have captured the file called test. And to this Wireshark we are going to give this file, that is test-01.cap. Open this file. So when I will click on open, you can see the details of the packets captured from this router. They can see this is the D-Link router, and the device which was connected to the D-Link router was this Honchai's Precision, and this is the network interface name actually. And let's see the other packets, and there is Ruku's wireless here. It may be Ruku's Wi-Fi, and we have other packets information as well. Let's scroll down to the bottom. Most packets are exchanged between the Honchai Precision and the D-Link router. So maybe this is the client which is consuming much data. Okay guys, so this is how we capture the packets which are flowing from the router. So we can capture them and can see the generalized information via Wireshark. I'll tell you one more thing. I will talk about the deauthentication attack. Okay, so let's try to run the air dump again. Air dump ng WLAN0mon. Now it will scan all the Wi-Fi networks around us. Press the Ctrl C. Now I wanted to attack on this router, that is PNP guy. Okay, so let me copy the MAC address first. Okay, now what I will do is I will see the complete information about this device. So for that I am going to make the use of aerodump ng. BSSID is this, and the channel is 11. Now I won't write these packets into the file. What I will do is I will simply type in here WLAN0mon as the monitor mode interface. Hit enter. Now it will scan all the Wi-Fi client connected to this router. Now there are 2 stations connected to this particular Wi-Fi router. First one is the 7802F88E, and second one is the 02233E. Okay guys, so this is my Windows machine that is
02:23:3E:B0:17:0A, and I can verify this by typing the ipconfig all, and let me show you. This is my wireless LAN adapter and its MAC address is 0223, same as right here. You can notice same MAC address over here. This is my Windows machine and I am connected to the PNP guy. Now what I will do is I'll try to disconnect the Windows machine from this router, and the router name is PNP guy, and they can see guys, I am connected to the PNP guy right now, and you can see I am able to browse as well. Let me type in here google.com, and you can see here I am able to browse as well. So now what I will do is I will simply press the Ctrl C, and then I will type in a command called airreplay-ng, and our access point is, which means our Wi-Fi router is this. Copy the MAC address of the Wi-Fi router, and our station is this, which we wanted to disconnect. C stand for the client here. Now I wanted to send the deauthentication packet to this Wi-Fi router for this client. So let's type in here DEAUTH, deauth, and amount of packets. So I wanted to send 20,000 packets, and let's type in the monitor mode interface as well. So when I will hit enter, then what it will gonna do is it will send the 20,000 deauthentication packets to this particular router, and it will tell the PNP guy router that you need to disconnect this particular MAC address, which means our Windows machine. Okay, so let's hit enter. Now what I will do is I'll try to browse on my Windows machine. Let's type in here youtube.com and see if we are able to browse over here or not. And they can see guys, PNP guy has been disconnected and it has been automatically connected to the movie router. Let's try to connect to the PNP guy again, and it has been connected again. Now let's see if it will gonna disconnect our PNP guy again or not. And you can see guys, PNP guy was disconnected for a while. Let's see if it can disconnect the PNP guy again. They can see guys, PNP guy was disconnected again. So this is how we can run the deauthentication attack against any client connected to any Wi-Fi router. So I am not saying you need to be connected to any particular Wi-Fi router. We are not connected to any particular Wi-Fi router right now, and we are able to disconnect without knowing them. Okay guys, so this is the beauty of Kali Linux, and this is the beauty of penetration testing tools of Kali Linux. Now let's try to stop this attack, and let's see if I am able to connect back to the PNP guy or not. Let's try to click on the PNP, and they can see guys, now I am connected to the PNP guy and I will be able to browse as well. And they can see guys, I am able to browse as well. So this is how we can run the deauthentication attack against any client of any router. Now what I will do is I'll tell you one more thing, and that thing is how to change the MAC address of any interface. So let's see the available interface list, and we can check this via command called iwconfig. So we have right now ETH0. Let me connect my external USB Wi-Fi adapter. Now it has been connected to my laptop, and let's try to detect it right from here. Removable devices, network adapter is there. Now let's try to do the iwconfig again, and you can see guys, WN0 is now available. Now what I will do is I'll tell you how to change the MAC address of any available interface. So it's always a good thing to change the MAC address when we are going to hack the Wi-Fi, because if you will do attack on any particular Wi-Fi with your real MAC address, then you could be traced by that victim, because you could be checked via the router logs. So your MAC address would be there and you will be detectable. Okay, so you need to evade yourself, you need to hide yourself. So for hiding yourself, it's always a good idea to change your MAC address of your wireless interface. Okay, so how to change the MAC address of wireless interface? Right now let me show you my real MAC address, that is ifconfig WLAN0. Hit enter. When you will hit enter, then you can see guys, this is the real MAC address of my USB Wi-Fi adapter. Now I am going to change this MAC address. Let me open up new terminal, and for changing the MAC address, all you need to do is to type in a command called MAC changer, and this tool is pre-installed into the Kali Linux 2016.2. Let me see the help. Now this is the usage: MAC changer, option, and then device, and device is either the WLAN0 or the ETH0 and all these things. Now option is, these are the options available. A stand for the another, E stand for the ending, P stand for the permanent, R stand for the random. I want to assign a random MAC address to my wireless interface. So for that I am going to type in here MAC changer. Option is -R for the random, and device is WLAN0. Okay guys, so now it is saying could not change the MAC address, interface up or insufficient permission. Okay, so let me down this interface first. ifconfig WLAN0 down, and now the WLAN0 interface is down. Now let's try to change the MAC address again with this command. Hit enter, and they can see guys, our MAC address has been changed, and the permanent MAC address was this, and I have changed this to the new MAC address, and the new MAC address is 1E:22:D4:EE:9E:BD. So let me set my WLAN0 to up because I have just set it to down. So I'll simply copy this command and I'll do it up, and here I am going to check the new MAC address of my WLAN0, and this one was the original MAC address. So let's try to hit enter, and you can see guys, this is the new MAC address. And remember, changing the MAC address is always a temporary thing. You cannot change the hardware address, and the MAC address is the hardware address. So whenever you will reboot your Kali Linux operating system, it will automatically set to original MAC address. That's the disadvantage and the right thing in terms of the technology as well. Okay guys, so now we know the basics of the pen testing of the wireless routers. Now what I am going to do is I am going to hack the basic WEP Wi-Fi routers, which you cannot find easily nowadays because they're very vulnerable and anyone could hack them. So first of all, I have told you that your wireless card have the two modes. First is the monitor mode and second one is the managed mode. By default it is on to the managed mode. So first of all, for hacking the WEP Wi-Fi routers, you need to put your wireless card onto the monitor mode. So let's see the available Wi-Fi interfaces, and the available Wi-Fi interface is WLAN0. By default it is on to the managed mode, and you can see here as well. Now I am going to make the use of command called airmon-ng start WLAN0. This command will gonna enable the monitor mode on the WLAN0. Hit enter, and let's do the iw-config again, and you can see guys, WLAN0 mon has been activated. Now it is on to the monitor mode. This command I am going to use for scanning the available Wi-Fi routers around me. airdump-ng WLAN0 mon, which is the wireless interface. Now it will gonna scan all the Wi-Fi networks available around us, and we are having a WEP router, and this is the test AP. This is my own Wi-Fi router. Just for the sake of demonstration, I am going to hack this particular router, and you are going to witness all the steps that how I am going to hack that particular router. So let's press the Ctrl C and let's see the complete information about this AP. So this is the MAC address of this particular AP, or we can say the BSS ID. So for seeing the complete information about this particular AP, simply type in here airdump-ng BSS ID is this, and the channel is 11. Now we are going to write all the data into a file called start. So I am going to write all the data into a file called start, and now I have to specify the interface, and our interface is going to be the WN0mon. Now what this command will gonna do is it will gonna capture all the packets which are flowing towards this router or which are coming from this router into a file called start. Now hit enter. Okay guys, so they can see the data packets are increasing. You can notice over here a client is connected as well, and this client must be consuming all the data packets, and we will wait for all these data packets, and if these data packets will go above 10,000 IVs, then we will try to run the KRACK ng to crack the password. Okay, so now it has gone above the 10,000, so let's try to run the attack on it. Let's use a command called KRACK ng, and the file which it has created is start. So let's do the ls here, and you can see guys, this is the captured file. So let's copy the name of the file. Let's see the help of the KRACK ng. So for the WEP, you can notice here path to the word list or the file name. Let's give the file name over here, KRACK ng, and the file name is present onto the root directory, and the file name is start01.cap. Let's hit enter and see if it is able to crack the password of WEP router or not. And they can see guys, it has started making the permutation combination, and you can see guys, it has been failed and it is waiting for the 20,000 IVs, and when it will finish the 20,000 IVs, then it will start cracking the password again. And now it has captured 19,900 IVs, and there it is, 20,000 IVs, and it has tried again. And you can see guys, it has not get the password again, and now it is waiting for the 25,000 IVs. It happens when the password is quite complex. If victim has used the simple password, then that password could be cracked into the 20,000 IVs, in fact under the 10,000 IVs as well. But here the victim is using the hard password or the complex password, and that's why it is taking the lots of IVs to crack that password. Okay guys, 25,000 IVs, it is trying again to crack the password, and they can see guys, we have got the password here, that is BA0F551F9C with these colons. So what I need to do is, first of all, I am going to store this password somewhere, because I am going to use this password for connecting my Windows machine to the router. Okay, so let's try to use this password and see if this password is right or wrong. Click on this network manager. So let's press the Ctrl C because we don't want to capture any more IVs. Let's try to connect to the test AP. So let's try to enter that password, that is PA, and we have to remove the colon in between this password. So after that we have the 0F551F9C, and it is case sensitive. Okay, so let's see the password, and there it is, PA0F551F9C. Now click on next, and now it is trying to connect, and they can see guys, test AP has been connected. It means the password is right. So let's try to go to the youtube.com, and they can see guys, router is working. We have successfully hacked the WEP router. So this was the scenario where one client was connected and that client was consuming the IVs, and that's why the data packets were increasing. But what will happen if there is no client connected to the WEP Wi-Fi router? Now let's try to see the available interfaces, and the available interfaces is WN0mon. It means the monitor mode is already enabled. Now what I am going to do is, I will simply run the scan again, arrow dump ng, and the interface is WN0mon, and it will again make the search for the available routers around us. Now let's press the Ctrl C, and we are going to hack test AP again. So for that, you remember the step, that is to gather the complete information about this particular AP. Okay, so let's type in the command called airdump ng -test bssid, and the bssid of the test AP is this, that is 84 colon and so on, and the channel is 11, and we are going to write all the data into a file called pnp, and the interface is going to be the WN0 mon, which is the monitor mode enabled interface. So hit enter, and now they can see, guys, data packets are not increasing and we have no client connected to this router. Now how do we gonna hack this particular router? So for hacking this particular router, what I am going to do is I will try to fake authenticate to this particular router. So this is the feature in the KRACK ng that it allows you to connect to the router via fake authentication. It means you won't be really connected to that particular router, but you will be fake connected to that particular router. Okay, so how do we gonna do the fake authentication? So for doing the fake authentication, you need to type in a command called replay ng, and remember this is the command which we have used for the deauthentication attack as well. So I will simply type in here fake auth, and the access point is going to be the bssid this. Now access point is this, that is 84 colon 1b. Now we need to fake authenticate our Kali Linux machine. So let's check out our Kali Linux MAC address. So before we go ahead, let's check out fake MAC address to our USB Wi-Fi adapter, because few minutes ago I have already told you that if you are going to attack on any Wi-Fi, then it's always good to change your original MAC address. So right now I am capturing the data on the WN0 mon, so I will keep this device down for a while, WN0 mon down, and hit enter. Now it is down, and that's why it is saying WN0 is down, so it is not able to capture the packets. Okay, now I am going to make the use of command called MAC changer, and the option is random. I wanted to assign the random MAC address to it, and I am going to assign this MAC address to the WN0 mon. Hit enter, and now they can see, guys, it is saying insufficient permission. So it may happen that we cannot change the MAC address while that device is into the monitor mode. Let's copy our original MAC address and put this interface up, that is ifconfig WN0 mon up. Hit enter, and you can see, guys, WN0 mon is up now, and it is capturing the beacons as well. It means it is up now. So now what I'm going to do is I have copied my own MAC address. I am going to fake auth to this router, and there it is, my MAC address. Now what I will do is I will simply type in here WN0 mon. Now when I will hit enter, then it will gonna fake authenticate with this router, that is test AP. So hit enter, and they can see invalid reauthentication delay or missing value. That value should be greater than 0. So now I am fake authenticated to this particular Wi-Fi router. Now what I will do is I will try to increase the IVs. So for increasing the IV, I will use a command called replay ng with the ARP replay attack. Okay, so let's type in here replay ng with attack called ARP replay, and that will gonna inject the packet into the router and increase this data. Okay, so let's type in here rest of the things, and I am going to inject the packet into the router called 841B. So simply copy this BSSID, and this is the actually access point. H for the fake authenticated device. So our fake authenticated device MAC address is this. So let's copy that MAC address and paste up here. Now what I will do is I'll simply specify the interface, and the interface is WLAN0mon. What this command will gonna do is it will gonna inject the packet into this Wi-Fi router via our MAC address. Okay, so let's hit enter and see the magic. And now it is saying please specify the BSS ID. So let's type in here B instead of the A, and you can see guys, now it is trying to send the packet into this router. Now let's see if it can increase the IVs here, and they can see guys it has started increasing the IVs and the data packets are increasing very rapidly. And this is the device which is increasing the data packets, that is F4 F2, which is our fake authenticated device. And you can see this is the amount of frames which are increasing. And now we will again wait up to the 10,000 IVs and then launch this attack. And this is my device, that is 7802. It was automatically got connected, and this is actually my mobile phone, but right now this is not connected. All the frames are increased by this particular MAC address. Okay guys, so it has captured 5200 IVs and we are waiting for 10,000 IVs. So let me pause my recording till we captured the 10,000 IVs. Okay guys, so here it has captured the 10,000 IVs. Now it's time to launch the KRACK NG attack. Okay, so let's open up the terminal and then type in here KRACK NG and the name of the file, and the file name was start01.cap. So hit enter and let's see if we are able to decrypt the password or not. So they can see guys, we have got the password and the password is same as the previous attack, so we don't need to verify that password again. But sometimes what happens is we are not able to inject the packet into the router, and if we will not be able to inject the packet into the router, then we will not be able to increase the data count and our IVs will not gonna increase and we will not be able to hack the WEP Wi-Fi router. So for that there is an attack called chop attack, and that attack is super cool. So what this attack will gonna do is we will tell the router to create a fake packet and we will inject that fake packet into the router, and then we will be able to increase the data packets count. Okay, so let's try to run the chop attack. So its process is quite same as the previous attack. First of all, we are going to run the arrow dump ng WLAN0mon, and again we wanted to hack the test AP. Okay, so let's copy the MAC address. For getting the complete information about this Wi-Fi, let's type in the command called arrowdumpng. BSS ID is this and the channel is 11. We wanted to write this data into a file called chop and the interface will be the WLAN0mon. So let's hit enter and they can see guys, there is no client connected right now, and this attack we are going to perform for the 0 client. So let's try to fake authenticate to this particular router. Let's see our original MAC address via MAC changer. Let's try to put R here, WLAN0mon. I know it will not gonna change our MAC address, but it will show the original MAC address to us. So let me copy this original MAC address and let me type in here a replay ng -- fake auth, and I wanted to send only one packet to do the fake authentication. So I will put the access point name over here, but before the access point name, since I have copied my own MAC address, let me paste it here. This is going to be my WLAN0 wireless card MAC address, which is going to be fake authenticated to this particular router, and the router BSSID is this. So let me copy the BSSID, paste it here. Now give the interface here. Interface is WN0mon. Now hit enter, and you can see guys, we have been successfully fake authenticated to the router, and you can see the MAC address here in the list of the station. Now what I am going to do is I will try to increase the IV, but I don't wanna opt that method. I am going to use the method called chop attack. So for that I will simply type in a command called replay ng --chop and access point MAC address, and the access point MAC address is this, and again the MAC address of client connected to it, and the interface, and the interface is WN0mon. Now hit enter, and now it is reading the packets, and now it will ask us to create a new packet. So it will gonna take some time in doing all the things. Please wait for a while. Okay guys, so now it is asking us to use this particular package. So I will say why. Yes, I wanted to use it. Now it is saving the chosen packet into a file called replace source. It will gonna take some time in saving that particular packet. Okay guys, so it has saved the complete packet into this particular file, that is replay-zor file. Okay, so now what I am going to do is I am going to make the use of command called packetforge ng 0, and AP access point is this. Let me copy this MAC address, or we can say the BSSID, and now let me paste my fake authenticated MAC address, and that is F4. Now I will create a fake packet, since we know that every packet have the destination and the source IP address, so we will gonna give the fake source and the destination IP address. So I am going to give the destination IP address as 255.255.255.255, and our source IP address will be 255.255.255.255. both are same. And now I need to give the name of the ZOR file. Paste the name of this file, hit enter. Now it is throwing some error, and now I wanted to write this into the file called chop packet. Okay, now hit enter, and we are again getting this error. I don't know what is the possible reason. Maybe I don't need to put this replay because we need to provide the file over here. So hit enter, wrote packet to chop packet. Okay guys, so we have created a packet called chop packet. So this is our fake packet created by us. Now we will gonna inject this packet into the traffic so that we can increase the IVs. Okay, so now what I am going to do is, for injecting this packet, I am going to type in here air replay ng -2 for the air replay attack. I am going to read this packet, that is chop packet, and I am going to put the monitor mode interface here. Now what this command will gonna do is, it will gonna run ARP replay attack via this packet. It means it will gonna inject this particular fake packet into the traffic. Okay, so let's hit enter and see the magic and use this packet. Yes, I wanted to use this packet, so press the Y here, hit enter, and they can see guys, the data packets are increasing. It means we have successfully applied the chop attack. So this attack is useful if your fake authentication attack is not working, because there are so many routers in the market which do not allow the fake authentication easily. So for those routers we have to use the attack called the chop attack, and that's why I am making the use of this particular attack. So it will gonna take some time,
and all the data packets are writing into the file called chop. So let's see that file name. Let's do the ls, and they can see, guys, this is the chop01.caf file. So let's try to run the KRACK on this particular file and see if we are able to get the password or not. KRACK, and the file name is this. Okay, so let's hit enter, and you can see, guys, now it is making the keys combination and it has got the 913 IVs only. I have ran this attack very early and it has to capture the 5000 IVs at least to run this attack. And they can see, guys, it is saying next try with 5000 IVs. Okay, guys, so now it has captured the 4900 IVs. Now it will again make a try at 5000 IVs. And they can see, guys, 4980. And they can see, guys, now it is trying, and let's see if we will be able to get the password or not. And they can see, guys, lots of key has been tested, and they can see, guys, we have not get the password, and it will gonna again made a try at 10,000 IVs. Now it is about to complete the 10,000 IVs and it has made the try on the 10,000 IVs, and let's see if we are able to get the password or not. And they can see, guys, next try will be on to the 15,000 IVs. Okay, guys, so now it will again make a try at 25,000 IVs. And they can see, guys, now it is making the try at 25,000 IVs. You can see it has captured the 25,000 IVs over here. And there we go, guys, we have got the password, and the password is same as we have captured in the last two attacks. So this was the chop attack, and now I am going to talk about one more attack, and the attack name is Fragment attack. Okay, before we further proceed, let me reboot my Kali Linux because it is working very slow right now. So let me reboot it and then we will talk about the Fragment attack. And in this tutorial I am going to tell you the fourth method for hacking the WEP Wi-Fi routers, and that method is the Fragment attack. So let's start this attack from the very beginning. First of all, as I've already told you that we should have the monitor mode compatible USB Wi-Fi adapter for hacking the WEP and WPA Wi-Fi routers, and the USB Wi-Fi adapter interface is WLAN0. As I've already told you that for hacking the WEP or maybe the WPA Wi-Fi routers, you require to put your card onto the monitor mode. So let's enable the monitor mode on WLAN0. Airmon ng start WLAN0, and now it will gonna enable the monitor mode on WLAN0. And let's check out the interfaces now. And you can see, guys, we have got the WLAN0 mon as the new interface, and the monitor mode has been enabled on it. So let's try to search the Wi-Fi networks around us. Airdump ng WLAN0 mon, hit enter. Now it will gonna take some time to search all the Wi-Fi networks around us. And you can see, guys, we have got one WEP Wi-Fi network, and this is the test AP. This is my own Wi-Fi router. I am using this router just for the demonstration purpose only. I'm not hacking anyone else. So press the Ctrl C. Now what you need to do is you need to copy this. Now we need to find the complete information about this MAC address, and for finding the complete information about this router, we need to type in here a command called aerodump ng --bssid, and the bssid is this, and the channel on which it is operating is 11, and we need to write all the data into a file called Fragment. And let's put the monitor mode interface, and the monitor mode interface name is WLAN0 mon. Now what I will do is I will simply hit enter, and now it will show all the device connected to the test AP router.
but they can see guys there is no device connected to the test AP router, so we have to do one more thing, and that thing is the fake authentication attack. So let's try to do the fake authentication. So let's type in here air replay ng -- fake auth, and we will send only one packet so that we can fake authenticate it to the router, and the router MAC address is this. And again we need to find out the MAC address of our USB Wi-Fi card. So for finding the MAC address we need to type in a command called MAC changer, because this is the only way to check our original MAC address. MAC changer ~0, and you can see guys this is the current MAC and permanent MAC as well. Now what I will do is I will keep this MAC address over here, and I want it to set the monitor mode interface as WN0mon. Simply hit enter, and you can see guys we have fake authenticated to this particular router because I am in the list of stations. It means I am fake authenticated to this particular router. Now what I am going to do is I have to run the attack called Fragment attack. So for that I am going to type in a command called air replay ng --fragment. Our access point is this, and our client is this. Now you need to specify the monitor mode interface, that is WLAN0mon. Now hit enter, and you can see guys there is no source. Okay, so we have to specify the -h instead of the -c. So let's give the -h, and I think we need to give the -b over here, that is the BSSID instead of the access point. Now hit enter, and you can see guys now it is reading the packets, and after reading all the packets it will ask us to create a new packet. And they can see guys use this packet. I wanted to say yes, so I will press Y and hit enter, and they can see guys there is a key stream created and the key stream name is this. Now we are ready to build a packet with the packet forge ng. Okay, so now we will type in that command again, that is packet forge ng -0 -a, and A stand for the access point, and access point is here, and there we go. I have successfully copied it, and now what I need to do is I need to specify MAC address of our wireless card, and this is the MAC address of the wireless card. I will set the destination IP address, and the destination IP address I will give via -k tag, and that IP address will be 255.255.255.255, and I will set source IP address via -l, and that is again going to be the same. Okay, now what I will do is I will say now use the file called fragment zor. This is the key stream file which we are going to use for making the packet. Now I will write the new packet into the file called fragment packet. Now hit enter, and you can see guys it has wrote new packet into the fragment packet. Now we are ready to use this fragment packet for increasing the IVs, and they can see guys we are disconnected from the access point, so we need to use this command again, that is fake auth, and we are again connected to this router. Now let me use the command called air replay ng, and again I am going to make the use of ARP request, ARP replay, and now I will make the use of that fragment packet, and the name of the fragment packet is fragment packet. Now I wanted to read this packet, and what this command will gonna do is it will gonna read this packet and inject this packet into the traffic. So let's hit enter and see the magic, and you can see guys no replay interface is specified. Put the WN0mon as the monitor mode interface, and let's see the magic now. And they can see guys use this packet, I would say yes and hit enter,
And you can see guys, now it will start increasing the data, and you can notice the data is increasing there. Okay guys, so now it is about to complete the 5000 IVs, and it will gonna make the very first try to capture the password. Meanwhile, let me just type in here replay ng, and the file name was fragment 01.cap. Hit enter. Actually the command was KRACK ng fragment 01.cap. Now hit enter, and let's see if it will be able to get the password or not. And you can see guys, now it will gonna again try at 10,000 IVs. It is not able to get the password. Okay guys, so it has captured the 9900 IVs, and it is again going to make a try on 10,000 IVs. And let's see if this time we will be able to get the password or not. And there we go. Now it is again doing the permutation and combination to get the password, and you can see guys, it is not able to get the password, and it will again gonna make a try at 15,000 IVs. Okay guys, so now it will again gonna make the try at 15,000 IVs, and we are about to complete the 15,000 IVs, and there we have completed. And let's see if this time it will be able to get the password or not, or will it gonna wait for the 20,000 IVs. And you can see guys, now it is again going to wait for the 20,000 IVs. Okay guys, so now it will again make a try at 20,000 IVs to hack the WEP Wi-Fi router. Okay, so it has completed the 19,950 IVs. And there we go, it has made the test again at 20,000 IVs, and they can see guys, we have got the password this time. This is how we can hack the WEP password with the fragment attack. I hope you guys like this video. So if you guys like this video, then give it a big thumbs up, and you're watching the whole course on Wi-Fi penetration testing. So if you are enjoying all the videos, then continue watching the tutorials, because there is a lot to come. And thanks for watching. First one was when there was client connected to it, and it was the very basic case. And second one was when there was no client connected, and we have done the fake authentication to increase the IVs. And third one was making the packet via chop attack. And fourth one was same as the third one, and that was making the packet via fragment attack. Okay guys, so we have seen 4 different ways to hack the WEP Wi-Fi routers. Now it's time to use 5th way, and that way is way different from other 4 ways. You don't need to enter any kind of command. This is whole automation tool for hacking the WEP Wi-Fi routers. In fact, it could hack the WPA2 routers as well, and it can also hack the WPS routers, and WPS stands for the Wi-Fi protected setup. You know, WPS is the vulnerability in most of the routers. So what it will gonna do is it will apply the WPS Pixie attack on the WPS routers, but we are not going to talk about it. Our main focus is to talk about automation tool which will hack the WEP routers automatically for you. Let me introduce you to that particular tool, and the tool name is WIFITE. Hit enter. Now it will automatically enable the monitor mode on WLAN 0, and you can see guys, it has enabled the monitor mode. You don't need to enter any kind of command. And now it has made the search for all the available Wi-Fi routers. Now what I will do is I will simply press the Ctrl C, and you can see guys, we have got some numbers, we have got the ESSID, we have got the channel, encryption, power, WPS is available there or not, or the client is associated to the device or not. Okay guys, so there we have all the device over here, and we have got the test AP, which is the WEP Wi-Fi routers. Its channel is 11. We will simply press the 1 here because our test AP number is 1, and simply hit the enter, and see the magic guys. Now it will automatically do every kind of attack. And you can see guys, fake authentication, it has done the fake authentication and it has got the success. Now it is trying different attack. Now it is trying for the chop attack, and now it is applying the fragmentation attack.
and now it has stuck to the cafe latte attack, and this one is the new attack we haven't seen yet. And you can see guys, after applying the cafe latte attack, it has increased the IV in the good amount. And remember, there was no client connected to it. It means it is doing its work at its best. Okay guys, so it has captured the 8000 IVs, and I guess it will gonna made its first attempt at 10,000 IVs. And you can see guys, now it is making the attempt to crack the password. And there we go, we have got the 12,000 IVs, but we don't have the password right now. And you can see guys, we have got the key. The password is in front of us, and we didn't enter any kind of command for hacking the WEP Wi-Fi routers. That's the beauty of this automation tool, and that's what I was talking about. Now let's try to connect to the test AP via our Windows machine. So let's copy the key. Now what you need to do is you need to again click on the test AP. Now click on connect, and now paste that particular key, and you can match the key as well. Now what you need to do is you need to simply click on next. Now they can see guys, the test AP has been connected to our Windows machine via this password. It means we have got the password, and that password is correct, and it has disabled the monitor mode automatically. So I just wanted to show you one more thing, and that thing is this particular file, cracked CSV. So let's see the content of this particular file. Hit enter, and they can see guys, we have hacked the test AP. Its MAC address was this, its encryption was WEP, and its key is this. So it has stored cracked password into the file called cracked.csv. If I will again type the WIFITE over here, then it will not gonna search the test AP, because test AP has already got an entry in the cracked CSV file, and it is assuming that we have hacked the test AP. So if a person will again change the password of the test AP, then what you need to do is you need to simply delete that particular file, because if you will not delete that particular file, then it will not be able to search the test AP. So let's remove this file, that is cracked.csv. Now let's try to run the WIFITE again and see if we are able to search test AP or not. And they can see guys, now it is making the scanning, and they can see guys, we have got the test AP in front of us. It means it was checking the entries in the cracked.csv file. So we can again try to hack this particular Wi-Fi network. Okay, so this is how we can hack the WEP Wi-Fi using the tool called WIFITE.
In this tutorial, I am going to tell you that how you can hack the WPA2 routers with the WPS. So if you have the WPA routers with the WPS enable, then just disable that feature, that is the WPS. And WPS stand for the Wi-Fi protected setup. So what that feature allows you to do is, when you will press WPS button, then you will be able to connect to your router without any password. This feature is quite vulnerable. Since we know that it is vulnerable, so we are going to make the use of this feature and hack into the Wi-Fi's. Okay, so I have also a router which has the WPS enable feature, and I will show you that how you can hack into that Wi-Fi router. And after that, once we have hacked our Wi-Fi router, then we will try to secure our router so that someone could not hack into our Wi-Fi router. For hacking the Wi-Fi router, all you need is the Linux operating system and the compatible Wi-Fi adapter. Since I've already installed that tool, so I'm not gonna do it again, but you have to enter this command and then further proceed. Okay, now I have installed that tool, so I wanna open up my tool and then I will hit enter. And they can see now it is enabling the monitor mode, and the monitor mode has been enabled, and these are the Wi-Fi routers which are present around us. They can see the encryption is WPA, WPA2 and WPA2 and so on. They can see there is a router that is youtube.com/pnp tutorials. You cannot see the whole SSID here, but its encryption is WPA2 and the WPS is available there. They can see the WPS is in the green color. So after that you need to press the Ctrl+C and then enter your Wi-Fi router name. So I am going to hack my own Wi-Fi router for the demonstration, and now I will enter the 2 here because my Wi-Fi router ESSID number is 2. So I will hit enter, and now they can see it is running the Pixie attack, and it will take some time to hack into that router. And they can see, guys, I have hacked into my router. WPS pin is this, WPA key is hi, my name is Slim Shady. So this router has been hacked. Now how do we gonna secure a router from hacking? Okay, so I have rebooted my system and now it's time to secure a router. So for that, what you need to do is you need to configure your Wi-Fi router. Okay, so I am going to plug in my Ethernet cable which is coming out from the router. So I have connected to my router with the LAN cable, and they can see the LAN cable symbol right here. Now what I am going to do is I will open up my browser, and then I will go to my default gateway. But before we further proceed, we need to know the gateway of a router. So for that there is a command, and the gateway is 192.168.1.1. now I will browse on this IP address. Now the username will be default admin or the user or the administrator. You can check out your default username and the password from the Google by entering your router's model number, and by default the password will be the password and the admin if you haven't changed that password. I have changed my password, so I am going to enter my one, and I will click on OK, and they can see this is my router configuration page. Now what I am going to do is I will look for the WPS option. Now I will go to the advanced setting, and then I will go to the advanced setup. You may have the different GUI, so you need to just look for the disable routers pin. Okay, so I have got this thing, disable routers pin. Now I will click on this check button, and they can see disable routers pin. Now it has been disabled, and now I will click on the apply, and once I will do that, then there will be no one who can hack my particular router. So let me show you the demonstration that now I cannot hack into my router. So for that I will again open up a tool called WIFITE, and now it is again enabling the monitor mode, and now I will not be able to get the internet connectivity. Okay, so I will press the Ctrl C, and then I will enter up my third number, which is my own Wi-Fi router. I will hit enter, and this time it will again try to hack the Wi-Fi router, but this time it does not able to get that password just because we have changed those setting into the Wi-Fi configuration page. So this is how we can prevent our routers from hacking. So if you have the WPA with the WPS routers, then just change its settings, and if you haven't changed yet, then just change them because they are very vulnerable, and it may happen that somebody could already hack into your Wi-Fi router. So I will recommend you to change the password with change of settings, and then further proceed. So for hacking the WPA2 Wi-Fi routers, either you can go with the WPS Pixie attack which you have seen in the previous video, or you need to go with the brute force attack. However, there are several ways to hack the WPA2 Wi-Fi routers. There are some specific tools created for hacking the WPA2 Wi-Fi routers, and they are Fluxion, Wi-Fi-Phisher and linset. These are the tools which I will be elaborating in the upcoming videos, but for now I am going to tell you that how you can hack WPA2 Wi-Fi routers by capturing the handshake. Okay guys, so this is also known as the four-way handshake. During handshake, what happens is when a client tries to connect to the Wi-Fi, and credential information is stored into the handshake file, but that handshake file is in the encrypted form and it is into the hash form, so we cannot directly crack that handshake file. We have to apply some methods, and for that we are going to make the use of brute force attack or maybe the dictionary attack. And let's see how we can capture the handshake. Okay, so let's open up our terminal and see the available list, and you can see guys, WN0mon is already enabled, and we have enabled this in the previous video. Okay, so what I will do is I will make the search via airdump ng command WN0mon, and I will see the available Wi-Fi networks around me, and there we go guys, we have got 3 or maybe the 4 Wi-Fi networks around me.
Now what I will do is I will simply try to hack this movie router. So for hacking this router, what I will do is I will try to get the complete information. So for getting the complete information, you know that command which we are going to use, and that command is arrow-dump ng. And I want the complete information about this BSS ID, and the BSS ID is 2C:30. So simply copy this BSS ID. Its channel is 11. So simply give the channel over here. Now we need to write all the data into a file called handshake-movie, and let me specify my monitor mode interface, and the monitor mode interface name is WN0mon. Now what I will do is I will simply hit enter, and what this command will gonna do is it will capture the data packets sent by the router over this channel into the file called handshake movie. Okay, so let's hit enter, and there we go guys. Now they can see guys, we have 3 clients connected to this Wi-Fi router. I will try to deauthenticate one of this client, because this is the only reason we can let the client reconnect to the Wi-Fi, and that's what we want, because once it will exchange the credential with the router, we will capture those packets into the file called handshake. Now what I will do is I will try to disconnect one of the client connected to this router. So for that we have made the use of air-replay ng command, and we will gonna deauth, and we will send 4 packets, or you can send 8 as well. So let me go with the 8. Now what I will do is I will simply specify my access point. So there is my access point MAC address. Let me copy this, and now I will specify the client connected to it, and the client connected to this access point are these 4. So let me disconnect this one, the last client. Okay, now I have set the access point, I have set the client. Now we need to specify the monitor mode interface, and the monitor mode interface is WN0mon. Hit enter. Now when you will do this, you can see guys, it has tried to disassociate F4, but the packets was not enough, so it is not able to disassociate the F4. So let's try to go with the 32 packets and see if it will be able to disassociate it or not. Now they can see guys, it is trying to disassociate the F4 again. And they can see guys, we have got the WPA handshake over here, and this is what we wanted to achieve. Okay guys, so we have got the WPA handshake. Now we can use this handshake for hacking the WPA Wi-Fi password. Let me show you the handshake file. Do the ls here. This is the handshake file, that is handshake movie 01.cap. For cracking this handshake file, you required a word list. You can search on Google and you can download the word list file as well. So this is how we can capture the handshake when the clients are connected to the Wi-Fi router. Now in this tutorial I am going to tell you that how you can create your own word list, because for hacking the WPA2 Wi-Fi password with the brute force attack, you only requires the 2 things. First one is the handshake, which we have just captured in the previous tutorial, and second one is the word list. We should know how to create a word list. So for creating the word list, all you need to do is to just watch this tutorial. Now in this tutorial I am going to make the use of a tool called Crunch, and that Crunch tool is pre-installed into the Kali Linux 2016.2, and that Crunch tool is used for creating the word list. So how to create a word list with the Crunch tool? Let's do it. First of all, we will type in a command called Crunch. Now we need to specify the minimum number of characters in a password. So I want 5. And then I need to specify the maximum number of character in a password, and I want to give it to 7. Now I have to specify characters which it is going to take to create the word list. So let me enter 1 2 3 4 5 A B C. It means it will gonna create the word list of all these characters. Now I will specify -o, it means output, and I wanted to write this file into the basic word list. the minimum length of password will be 5 and the maximum length of the password will be 7, and they will be returned to the basic word list file. So hit enter. So it is going to create the 23 lakh password with this command, and they can see guys, in just few seconds it has created that particular word list. Do the ls here. Now we are going to see the content of basic word list. So let's type in here cat basic dash word list, and it is showing every single password which it has created into its file. And they can see guys, this is the word list. Now I will tell you how you can create your own word list with some pattern. So let's say an example, if you have seen someone's password and that password is starting with the A, its length is 7 and it is ending with the B. Okay, so how do we gonna create the word list? So let's type in the command called crunch, and the minimum number is 7 and the maximum number is also 7, and we don't know the characters between the A and B, so 1 2 3 4 5 and then B. So this is going to be the pattern in which we wanted to create the word list, and we have to give some characters by which it will gonna create the word list. Okay, so let me give the A B C D E F G. So these are the characters which will be coming into the word list password. It will create all the password which will be starting from the A and ending with the B, and no matter what in between A and B. Now we need to specify the output file with the dash O and give it a name as PNP word list and hit enter. Now they can see guys, it is going to create the 16,807 lines and it has created that word list. Now do the ls here. And now let's see the content of the PNP word list. Now they can see guys, these are all the password and every single password is starting with the A and ending with the B. So this is how we can create the word list into the Kali Linux 2016.2. Now in this tutorial I am going to tell you that how you can create the real world word list. I am going to create the word list with the real world scenario, and I will try to hack the password of the movie router. So what I know about the movie router is its password is 10 digit long and its password is starting with the 8 and it is ending with the 6. So by keeping all these things into my mind, I will try to create a word list. So let's first create the word list using the command called crunch. And minimum amount of characters in a password is 10 and the maximum amount of characters in a password is 10. Now I want it to use every single digit like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now our pattern is our password is starting with the 8. We don't know about the medium characters, so we will put the @ symbol in place of the unknown characters like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We don't know about these 8 characters, and our password is ending with the 6. Now let's write this word list into the file called movie word list. Now they can see guys, it is going to create the 10 crore lines and the size of the word list is going to be 1 GB. That's the huge amount. But these statistics are right about the password. Movie router password is starting with the 8 and it is ending with the 6, and that's truly right. Now what I am doing is I am creating the word list, and after creating the word list I will try to hack this router with the dictionary attack. Okay guys, so now the word list has been created. Now what I am going to do is I am going to tell you the final step of doing the brute force attack onto a WPA router. For this final step, all you need to do is to just type in a command called KRACK. Now we need to specify the name of our handshake file. So let me show you the name of the handshake file. So this is the handshake which we have captured. So I need to specify the handshake file name, and now I will use the -w tag for the word list, and our word list name is movie word list. Okay, simply copy the name of this word list and paste up here. Now I will hit enter, and they can see guys, now it is saying it is going to take the 13 hours to check the password. Since we are running this attack into the virtual machine, so it will not be able to use your graphic card and all these things, and that's why it is showing us huge amount of time. And that's the reason why brute force attack are not successful, because it requires lots of time. So that's the disadvantage of the brute force attack. But if you know about the password, that how the victim password look like if it is a phone number or if it is a birth date, then you can create the word list. Or if you have the good configuration system like i7 system with the 16 GB RAM, or if you have the graphic card, then you will be able to crack it early than this. But for me it is going to take the 2 days. Okay, I am not going to wait for the 2 days, so I will simply press the Ctrl C, and I know that I cannot hack this Wi-Fi onto my system. However, this is the basic concept of brute force attack. So I just wanted to tell you pros and cons of the brute force attacks. Cons are it is going to take lots of time, and it is not guaranteed after completing the attack we will be able to get the password or not, and the chance of getting the success is just 2%. So think before using this attack. And that's all I wanted to say about the WPA2 Wi-Fi hacking with the brute force attack. So I hope you guys like this video. So if you guys like this video, then give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. Today I am going to tell you that how you can hack the WPA and WPA2 Wi-Fi routers without WPS-Phisher attack and without brute force attack. So we are going to move to the next tool, and that tool is Fluxion tool. So this tool is not installed in the Kali Linux, so we have to install this tool explicitly. So for installing that tool you need to clone a repository, and that repository is just right here. So this link is given in the description area. You can visit over this link, and after that what you need to do is you need to click on clone or downloads, copy the link, and simply open up your terminal, and then type in here git clone. So here I am logged in as a root user, so I don't need to put the sudo in front of the command. Alright, so it will gonna take some time since it has to clone around 22 MB of data. Alright, so now it is cloning into the Fluxion directory. Alright guys, so now the cloning process has been done, and now we will do the ls here, and they can see guys, Fluxion directory has been created. Now we will go inside this directory. Alright, so do the ls here, and we have got some files over here, so we need to run this file. Alright, so this is the installer.sh file. So it will install the Fluxion into our Kali Linux 2.0. and it will take some time depending on your internet connection speed. First of all, it will gonna perform the update, upgrade, and all these things. So let me just pause my video till we finish the installation. Alright guys, so now the Fluxion has been completely installed, and they can see KRACK ng has been installed, airdump ng, dhcp, and all these things. You don't need to do anything, you just need to run that file installer.sh, and once you have run that file, then you will be able to install all these things together. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to do the ls here, and now we will run the Fluxion for the very first time. Alright, so how does it gonna work? So first of all, when we will run the Fluxion here, then it will send the deauthentication packet to the target router which we wanted to hack, and that target router will disconnect all the clients so that we will be able to capture the handshake. And once we will be able to get the handshake, then we will create a clone of the target AP. Okay, so we will create another AP which will be the clone of the target AP, and somebody will try to connect to that clone AP. Then it will ask the password, and once that victim will enter the password, we will be able to get the password. Okay, so you might be able to find it very complex, but how we gonna do this? Simply run Fluxion file, and I will tell you that how it will gonna work. Okay, so now it is running the Fluxion for the very first time. Okay, updated successfully, restarting the script to apply the changes. Alright, so now the Fluxion is running for the second time, and it's the original repository where you can find the Fluxion. So choose your language. First of all, I am going to choose the English, and my interface is going to be the WN0.
and now it will enable the monitor mode on it. I wanna search all the channels. Alright, so now it will gonna make the search for the routers around us. So these are the routers which are present around us, and I am going to target the second router, which is the movie. So to stop that search, you need to press the Ctrl C together on that window. So now I am going to enter the one here. We are having these attacks. Either we can brute force this, or if we have this router as the WPS, then we can do the WPS slaughter attack. I am going to choose the very first attack, that is fake AP host PD, and it is also the recommended attack. So when I will enter the one here, and now it is asking the handshake location. So we don't have the handshake and we wanted to find out the handshake file as well. So I will hit enter to skip this step, and now it is saying handshake check. So we will try to capture the handshake. So for capturing the handshake, I would like to capture it with the KRACK ng. So I will enter the one, and now I will deauthenticate all the clients connected to the movie router. Okay, for that I will enter the one, and now you can see guys, it is disconnecting all the clients connected to the movie router. And let me show you onto the screen as well, and you can see guys, and I am not connected to the movie, and whenever I will try to connect to the movie router, it will not let me connect to that particular router, because here it is sending the deauthentication packets to the movie. Okay, so once we will gonna press the Ctrl C here, it will stop sending the deauthentication packets. Alright, so now my phone will try to connect to the movie router, and they can see we have got the WPA handshake here. So we can press the Ctrl C here. What I will do is I will press the 1 to check the handshake, and I will choose the 1 as the web interface, and I will choose the 1 as the English language. Okay, so now it will create a fake AP, and that AP will be of the movie itself. And they can see guys, these are some other windows has been opened up, and right now my mobile is connected to the movie. Okay, now it will send the deauthentication packet to the movie. Okay, so they can see guys, we have got one more movie router here. Okay, and it will start disconnecting that movie router. Now when I will tap on the movie, they can see guys, they can see the changes here. Now I am connected to the fake AP, and they can see there is one client connected to the fake AP, and the client name is Redmi. Okay, now it is asking me to enter the password. Now what the victim will think, he will gonna think that for some reason it is asking the password of my router. It means my mobile is acting as a victim. Okay, so I will enter that password here, click on submit, and when I will do that, they can see your connection will be restored in a few seconds. And they can see guys, meanwhile it has captured that password, and we have got the password over our screen. And they can see it has created a file onto the root directory, and the file name is moviepassword.txt. So we can check out this file as well. So press the tab here, and they can see we have got the password as 8447444, and the channel number is 11, and the security was WPA2. So this is how we can hack the WPA and WPA2 Wi-Fi routers. But the thing is, we should be able to capture the handshake file. And here for the demonstration purpose, I was using my Android mobile phone as the victim client. And once you have got that handshake, then the second step is the client should enter that password into the prompt which will appear on the mobile phone. Okay, so once you will be able to complete those two steps, or the victim will be able to enter that password into that password box, you will be able to get the password. And this is how we can hack the WPA and WPA2 routers with the fluxion attacks. And today's tutorial is about hacking the WPA and WPA2 routers with the WIFI-Phisher tool. So WIFI-Phisher tool is not a new tool, you already know that, but I just want to show you the comparison between the WIFI-Phisher and the fluxion tool. Last video was about how you can hack the WPA and WPA2 routers with the fluxion tool, and many guys were commenting in the comment box that fluxion tool is same as the Wi-Fi-Phisher. So for those guys, I just want to give you a difference, and I just want to show you the difference between the both tool. First of all, I would like to mention that here I am using the two Wi-Fi adapters. First one is the inbuilt Wi-Fi chipset into my laptop, and second one is the external USB Wi-Fi adapter of Alpha. Because for the Wi-Fi-Phisher to be able to work, we need the two Wi-Fi adapters, and I'm having the two Wi-Fi adapter for this video. Let's install the Wi-Fi-Phisher tool, because Wi-Fi-Phisher tool is not pre-installed in the Kali Linux 2.0. So for that, I have the repository, and the link is given in the description area as usual, and just click on this link, and when you will be redirected onto this page, then simply click on clone or download and copy the link here. Okay, so we need to clone this link, and you should have a working internet connection, and here I'm using the command called git clone. Okay, so I will hit enter, and it will gonna take some time depending on your internet connection speed. So they can see a Wi-Fi-Phisher directory will be created onto the root directory, so it will gonna take some time, guys. Alright, now the 35% done and 100% done. Now what we will gonna do is we will gonna simply type in your ls, and we will see the directory created over here, and the directory name must be the Wi-Fi-Phisher. Okay, so the Wi-Fi-Phisher, we will get into this directory, do the ls here, and now guys, they can see that we have few files over here, and if you will go onto that link, then you can see the installation instruction and the usage instructions as well. So for installing that tool, all you need to do is to just copy this command, that is python setup.py install. Okay, so I will simply type in here python setup.py install and hit enter. Okay, so the Wi-Fi-Phisher has been completely installed into our Kali Linux. Now what I'm going to do is I will simply type in yes Wi-Fi-Phisher. So one more time, I want to tell you guys that if you want this tool to be able to work, you need the two Wi-Fi adapter. Okay, so both Wi-Fi adapters should support the access point mode and the monitor mode. Okay, so hit enter, and they can see, guys, this is the difference. That is WLAN 1 interface for the deauthentication attack. Okay, and WLAN 0 interface will create a RUG access point. Okay, let me show you. iwconfig. Okay, so my WLAN 0 is on the managed mode, and WLAN 1 is also on the managed mode. Okay, so here it is the bug in the Wi-Fi-Phisher, so it will not gonna work with the first time. Okay, so press the Ctrl C and then do the Wi-Fi-Phisher again. Now it will show the routers to create the clone and all. So I will simply press the Ctrl C, and these are the routers around me. Okay, so I will choose the AP number. I would like to make the clone of Bonafide, so for that I will choose number 2. And now what it will gonna do is it will show the available phishing scenarios. Okay, so these are the 4 scenarios, these are the 4 kind of attack which we can perform with this tool. Okay, so first one is the browser connection reset. So I have choose the Bonafide as my target AP. So what it will gonna do is, once I will press the 1 here, then it will create the fake AP of the Bonafide, and it will disconnect all the clients connected to the original Bonafide. So the clients which were connected to the original Bonafide will be connected to my fake access point, and once they will be browsing on their browser, then they will see this page that your browser connection has been reset. You need to enter the WPA password to continue. Okay, so how it is different from the fluxion tool? Because in the fluxion tool we were capturing the handshake. Okay, and when we were performing the fake AP attack, then the people used to enter the password, and that password was checked by the handshake if that password is right or wrong. But here we are not capturing any handshake, so when the victim will enter the password, that password will be not checked. Okay, so if he will enter the wrong password in that password box, we will see that wrong password as well. So accuracy of this tool is less than the fluxion tool. Okay, so let's choose these scenarios. Okay, so I am going to choose the browser connection reset as my first attack. Press the 1 here. Now they can see, guys, selecting browser connection reset template and starting the fake access point. Now it will gonna create the clone of Bonafide router. Okay, so let me just turn on the screen recorder of my mobile phone so that I can let you see that clone router on my mobile phone. Alright guys, so now I have made the clone of the bona fide router. So let's try to connect to the bona fide router, and here my mobile phone is acting as the victim. So your connection has been reset. I have got this message, so I have to enter this password at this time. So here I'm entering a fake password and I don't know the right password of the bona fide, and when I will click on submit, then it will show that password right onto the screen. So what is the difference between the WIFI-Phisher and the fluxion tool? In the fluxion tool, when the user was entering some password, then that password was checked with the handshake file. But in the WIFI-Phisher, there is no handshake captured here. If the victim will enter the wrong password, then that password will not be checked with any handshake. So we might be able to get the wrong password as well, like in this case we had got. Okay, so let's try to run the WIFI-Phisher again to check the second attack, and this time we are going to choose the second attack and make the clone of the bona fide router. So let's press the 2 here, and this time we are going to choose the second option, that is the firmware upgrade page. So when the victim will connect to my fake access point, then he will be redirected onto this page, and it will ask the victim to enter the WPA key, upgrade your firmware. Okay, so I will enter the 2 here, and now it is selecting the firmware upgrade page template, and then it is starting the fake access point as well. So here I'll simply move to my Wi-Fi settings, and then I will act as a victim and I will try to connect to the bona fide, and now it has made some response. Okay, so let's try to browse on to the google.com. Okay, and this time we have got this thing, that is firmware upgrade page. Okay, so this router must be the D-Link, that is bona fide. Okay, so I'll simply click on I agree with terms and conditions, and I will enter the pre-shared key, and again I will enter the fake key because I don't know the password of the bona fide. Right now my Android mobile phone is acting as the victim. Okay, so when I will click on start upgrade, and it will get the key here. Okay guys, so this was the second way to get the key of the WPA and WPA2 routers via fake access point. So let's try to run the WIFI-Phisher again. We will see the third option, and this time we are going to choose the new router, and this time it is going to be the Ninja. So let's choose the Ninja. So press the 3 here, and this time it will ask the browser plugin update. Okay, so generic browser plugin update page that can be used to serve the payload to the victim. So what it will gonna do is it will gonna create a fake access point, and then it will gonna create a browser plugin update page, and we can serve the payload as well. So if we know that the victim router has the Android mobile phone connected to it, then we can serve the Android payload as well. So I'll simply choose the 3 here, and now it is asking me the payload path. Okay, so I have created a payload here, and that payload is the update extension.apk. So I will simply copy the name of the file, and if you don't know how to create the payload, then watch my Metasploit series, which will be onto my channel in the playlist section. So simply give the path, and that file is present onto the root directory. So I'll simply enter the root and the file name and hit enter, and now it is saying that using this file as a payload and is starting the fake access point. And right now my mobile phone is connected to the movie router, and this time we have got the clone of the Ninja router. Okay, so I will simply choose the Ninja, and now it will gonna redirect me on to a web page, and that web page is update your plugins. Okay, so I will click on the update now. Your browser plugin are severely out of date. What the heck it is doing? I don't know. So when I'm clicking on the update now, it is not downloading any payload here. I don't know what is the reason. Let's try to run the fourth attack, and this time we are going to make the clone of the Daisy Yadav. Okay, so let's try to put the 4 here, and this time we are going to make the fake access point named as Daisy Yadav, and when someone will connect to that fake access point, it will ask the Facebook username and password to continue to the internet. This is something serious guys, and I don't want you to perform this attack in public because this could create a severe problem for you, and this is the warning for you guys. And if you want to do the penetration testing, then you can use this attack, and here I'm not supporting any black hat hacking. Okay, so it is a request to the YouTube as well, because it is just an educational video, so please don't try to flag my video. Let's run this attack. So it is starting the fake access point, and it will gonna create the clone of the Daisy Yadav. Okay, and let's go to onto my Android mobile phone, and the clone of the Daisy Yadav has been connected, and all the client connected to the Daisy Yadav will be deauthenticated by the alpha USB Wi-Fi adapter, and they will not be able to see their original router, and mine router will be shown to them, and they will try to connect to the Daisy Yadav, and now it will gonna redirect me on to the next page, and this page is get connected to the internet for free, a simple no frills Wi-Fi services. Now it is saying that log in into your Facebook page to continue to the internet. So here I'm using my email ID, okay, and a fake password for connecting to the Facebook, and when I will click on login, it will again show me that screen, but the password will be appear onto the screen. Here I am not hacking anyone, it is just my mobile phone for the demonstration. Okay, so these were the 4 attacks which you can perform with the WIFI-Phisher, and here I just want to say one thing, that WIFI-Phisher is not that accurate because it do not cross check the information entered by the victim. Okay, if victim will be entering the wrong information, then we will be able to capture only the wrong information. Okay, so this was the total difference between the WIFI-Phisher and the fluxion tool. How you can install the linset tool into your Kali Linux 2.0, Kali Linux 2016.1, Kali Linux 2016.2. So here I'm using the Kali Linux 2.0 onto my laptop. So this is going to be the 3rd video on hacking of WPA and WPA2 Wi-Fi routers. In the previous 2 videos I have told you about the fluxion tool and the WIFI-Phisher tool. Actually the fluxion tool is quite same as the linset tool. So in this video I will only tell you that how you can install the linset tool into your Kali Linux, and rest of the things are same as the fluxion tool. So let's open up our browser, and these are the 3 repositories given in here. And the original creator of the fluxion tool is the VK496, and the original version of the linset tool is in the Spanish language. So if you need the linset tool in the Spanish language, then you can simply clone this repository, or if you need the linset version for Kali Linux 2.0 in English language, then you can simply clone this particular repository. Okay, or if you need the linset tool for the Kali Linux 2.0, Kali Linux 2016.1 and Kali Linux 2016.2, then you need to simply clone this repository. Okay, so these are the 3 different versions of linset. Since I am having the Kali Linux 2.0, so I will simply clone this particular version of linset. Okay, so let me just copy this git repository. So I'll simply type in here git clone and paste the repository. Now this version is for the Kali Linux 2.0. Now it will gonna take some time. Do the ls here. Now the linset directory will be created onto the root directory, and they can see guys, get into this directory. Do the ls here. Now the 2 files are present into the linset directory. Now what you need to do is you need to simply type in here chmod +x. Now you need to give the execute permission to both of the files. First one is the airmon and second one is the linset. So I will make the use of command called chmod +x, that is change mode to the execution mode, and do the ls here. Now the both files color has been green, it means they have been given the execute permission. Now I will simply type in here linset to check if my tool is working or not. And alright guys, so now they can see guys, my tool is working, and rest of the things are like the fluxion tool. So I would recommend you to watch that particular video, because the linset tool is quite same as the fluxion tool. Now I will tell you that how you can install linset tool into your Kali Linux 2016.1 or Kali Linux 2016.2. Okay, so this version for the Kali Linux 2016.1 and Kali Linux 2016.2, and this is the English language version. Okay, now I'll simply hit enter, and now it will gonna clone the data into this particular directory. Okay, now do the ls here, and now another directory has been created, and that directory is linset mv. Press the tab key, hit enter, do the ls here, clear off the screen, do the ls again, And now guys, we have two files here. First one is the airmon and second one is the linset mv1-2.sh. Now we need to give the execute permission to both of the files. So for that I am going to make the use of chmod plus x airmon and linset 1-2.sh. Now hit enter. Now they can see linset is not a directory. Okay, so I just forget to put the mv here. Hit enter. Now the execute permission has been given to the both of the files. They can see the green color as well. Now let me run this particular file, that is linset mb.sh. Copy the name of the file, use the .n/ and paste the name of the file and hit enter. And now we will gonna see if it will gonna work into our Kali Linux or not. Okay guys, so they can see select the Wi-Fi device interface to employ. Okay, this is how we can install the linset tool in Kali Linux 2.0 and the second version on the Kali Linux 2016.2 or in the Kali Linux 2016.1 as well. So rest of the things are quite same as the fluxion tool. Now in this video tutorial I am going to tell you that how you can speed up the process of cracking the WPA and WPA2 Wi-Fi routers. For now I am using Kali Linux 2016.2 into my VMware workstation and I have connected the external USB Wi-Fi adapter which supports the monitor mode, and I have enabled the monitor mode as well. You can see the list of interfaces as well. Now what I will do is I will simply search the routers around me. So for that I will simply type in a command called airdump ng-n0mon, and here we have the list of routers which are around me. Now I will simply press Ctrl C, and now what I am going to do is I will try to hack this particular Wi-Fi router, that is PNP guy. Its encryption is WPA, authentication is BSK. So now I will simply copy the BSS ID and I will type in a command called airdump ng, where BSS ID is the router MAC address and the channel on which PNP guy is operating is 11. So I will simply type in the channel as 11, and now I wanted to write all the packets in a file called PNP. Now I will specify the name of interface, and that is n0mon. Now what this command will gonna do is it will capture all the packets of this particular router into a file called PNP. So let me hit enter. Soon we will get the list of clients connected to this particular Wi-Fi router, and here we have two clients connected to this particular Wi-Fi router. Now what I will do is I'll try to capture the handshake. So for capturing the handshake I will simply disconnect only one client from this particular Wi-Fi router, and that is going to be this one. Open another tab and type in here air replay ng, and I will send the deauthentication packets, and the number of packets will be 32. And access point is this is our Wi-Fi router, or you can say the access point as well. I'll copy the MAC address and then I will specify my client, and client is this which I want to disconnect, and I will specify n0mon. Now I will hit enter. Now they can see guys, it will send a 32 deauthentication packet to this particular Wi-Fi router to disconnect this client connected to that particular Wi-Fi router. And they can see guys, we have got the WPA handshake. What I will do is I will simply type in here ls, and pnp-01.cap file has been created, and this is what we call handshake. Don't forget to press the Ctrl C here. So now what I will do is I will go on to my browser. I will go on a website called hashcat.net. Now I will go into the converter, and now I will browse that particular file, that is pnp-01.cap, and now I will simply click on convert. Now it will upload the file on their server and a converted file will be given to us. Now I'll simply save that file. Now I will simply rename it to pnp hash. Now what I will do is I will not crack this file on the VMware workstation because I have graphic card installed onto my host computer system, and that is fully supportable because I have installed all the drivers of that particular graphic card. But in VMware we don't have the drivers for it. So what I will do is I will send this file to my host operating system. So for that I will make the use of share folder. So I will simply go inside the directory called downloads, and there we have a file. Now I will copy this file to mount, then HGFS, then a share folder, share with Kali, and now this file will be shared to my host operating system, and there we have it, pnphash.hccap. Now what I will do is I will download a package from the hashcat.net, and the package name is version 3.40. I'll simply click on it. It will take some time to download, and there we have it, hashcat-3.40. Now I will extract this file into my D drive. Now what I will do is I will simply copy hash file into that particular folder. Now I will simply open up my terminal, and I have also created a word list which is also available in this particular directory. Now I will simply type in here hashcat64.exe. Cracking mode will be WPA, and that is denoted by 2500, and now I will specify something here, that is -W3, which will speed up the process of cracking. Now I will specify hash file pnp hash, and I will specify the word list as well. There I have 1 GB word list, so I will specify that word list, and now what I will do is I will simply hit enter. Now it will parse the word list, and you can see the status by S. You can pause this process by P. You can resume this process by R. So I'll simply press S, and you can see, guys, cracking process is very high. You can see 203.5. It means more than 2 lakh keys are being checked per second. And if we do this particular process with KRACK, then it hardly goes up to 5000 keys per second. But here it is checking 2 lakh keys per second. It means the cracking process is very fast, because I have the GPU installed into my host operating system, and that GPU is GeForce GTX 10606 6GB graphic card, and that's why this process is very fast. So it is always recommended to crack the hash file from the hashcat, because it parsed the word list and then it used the key spaces to crack the password, and that key spaces make the cracking process faster. So even if you don't have the GPU, then hashcat will check up to 15,000 keys per second. Whereas in KRACK, if you don't have the graphic card installed, then it will go only up to 2000 keys per second. So it is always recommended to do the brute force and dictionary attack with hashcat, and that makes the process very faster. Now in this video tutorial, I am going to tell you that how you can crack the password of admin of a Wi-Fi router. If you have cracked the password of someone's Wi-Fi, then you must be looking to get the admin access of that particular Wi-Fi router. So how to do it? So here I'm using Kali Linux 2016.2 onto my VMware workstation. Now what I am going to do is I will click on the terminal, and I'll see the gateway of my router, or you can say the IP address of my router. So for that I will simply type in here route-NEE, and here you can see, guys, I am connected via Ethernet cable, and I am assuming that this is the hacked router and its IP address is 192.168.0.1. So I will open up my Firefox browser, and then I will go on to that particular IP address 192.168.0.1, and here you can see, guys, I have got the login page. But let's suppose the default passwords are not working. So how you can crack it? Now first of all, what I will do is I'll click on this 3 menu icon, and then click on the preferences, and then go to the advanced settings, and then go to the network, then click on settings. Now I will set up manual proxy configuration. For that I will simply click on this radio button, and then I will enter the HTTP proxy as 127.0.0.1 and port number will be 8080, and simply click on OK. Now what you need to do is you need to open up your burpsuite, and here I'm using the free edition of burpsuite. Simply click on the temporary project and then click on next. Now use burp default, again start burp. Now what you need to do is you need to click on the proxy and then make sure your intercept is on. Now what I will do is I will close this window, and now I will try to go on 192.168.0.1 and hit enter. and they can see guys I am not able to browse on 192.168.0.1. so for that what I will do is I will turn off my intercept. So simply click on this to turn it off, and they can see guys I am successfully reached onto my login page. Now I will simply type in a password here, and I am assuming that I don't know the password, and hit enter. Now go back to the burpsuite and click on the HTTP history. Now click on the post request, and they can see guys I have tried to enter hello as the password. So what I will do is I will simply right click on this post request, and then I will send it to the intruder. And now I will go into the intruder section, and I will go on to the position. They can see guys these are the variables which you need to remove. This symbol, you need to remove them, and simply remove everything in between the username and password. And we know the username is admin, which was fixed, so remove these symbols. Now you can see username is admin, and we are checking for the password. And after that I will click on payload, and now I will load a wordlist file by which we are going to brute force this login password. So I'll simply click on load, and what you need to do is you need to go onto the root directory, and now I will go inside the user directory, and then I will go into the share. After that there must be a directory called wordlist, and there it is. Now I will simply choose this wordlist, that is fasttrack.txt, or you can make your own wordlist by using crunch tool. I will simply open up this wordlist, and now what I will do is I will simply go to the positions, and I will simply click on start attack, and then click on OK. Now it will try all the possible combination, and they can see the length. Now whenever it will get the password, then it will change the length. Here it is 388, and you can see over here everything is 388, but now here you can see the length is 226. It means it is the right password of that login account. If you will click on length, then you will be able to see that 226 in front of you, and here you can see the length has been changed. It means it is the password of the login account. So let's try admin as the login account. Now I will simply stop this attack, click on OK, minimize it, and enter admin here, and they can see guys I am logged in into the router login page. And this was a short video to tell you that how you can brute force the login account of any Wi-Fi router. Now in this video tutorial we are going to look at the techniques. By using these techniques we can prevent your router from hacking. So first of all, we have talked about the deauthentication attack on the different routers. Let's say if you have a router and your neighbor is attacking on you by the deauthentication attack, then how you can prevent yourself? It might happen your attacker will be having the 2.4 GHz frequency Wi-Fi router. Then what you need to do is you should buy a dual band Wi-Fi router, and nowadays dual band Wi-Fi router does have the 2.4 GHz operating frequency and also the 5 GHz operating frequency. It may happen attacker can have the 2.4 GHz USB adapter, and when he will try to deauthenticate your router, because your router is operating on the 5 GHz frequency, then he will not be able to deauthenticate the client connected to your Wi-Fi router, because attacker is sending the deauthentication packets to all the routers which are 2.4 GHz frequency supportable. But since your router is 5.0 GHz, then your router will not be affected from the 2.4 GHz frequency of deauthentication attacks. So this was the prevention from the deauthentication attack. Now second way, we have talked about WEP Wi-Fi attacks. We have seen 5 different ways how an attacker can crack the password of WEP account. I would never suggest you to operate your Wi-Fi over the WEP, because if your Wi-Fi is on the WEP, then you are 100% hackable. So I would suggest you to upgrade your wireless security to the WPA or maybe the WPA2. Now if we talk about the WPA and WPA2, then we have applied many attacks, like we have applied brute force attack, we have applied fluxion tool, WIFI-Phisher tool, and so on. So I will tell you how you can prevent yourself from brute force attack. I will suggest you to use the strong password which must be having symbols, numbers, letters, and so on. And your password should be greater than 14 to 15 digits or 14 to 15 alphanumerics, because if your password will be larger, then attacker will face the problem
to crack your password, since he can only crack your router password by the brute force attack. So if an attacker will use dictionary attack, then he might have to create a better word list, which will take a hell lot of time to crack the WPA and WPA2 Wi-Fi routers via brute force attack. So I will suggest you to use the strong password, which should be greater than 14 to 15 digit. Now let's talk about the fluxion tool. In the fluxion tool, an attacker must be using the evil twin attack. So I will always suggest you to look into the router security. Generally, when the evil twin attack is performed, then the attacker's Wi-Fi router is open. So I will always suggest you to look into the security encryption. It might happen your Wi-Fi router may be having the WPA or WPA2 security, and if you are connecting to the attacker's Wi-Fi router, then he might be having the open security. So always check the encryption before connecting to the router, and if you have connected to the attacker's router, then always try to see what he is asking for, because it might happen he will be asking for the Facebook credential, or attacker might be asking for your password, but this would never happen in the real life. So always prevent yourself from evil twin Wi-Fi attacks. And if you are going into the McDonald's, Domino's and Starbucks, then do not connect with any random Wi-Fi router, because it may happen an attacker has served a Wi-Fi router or maybe a Wi-Fi hotspot, and if you have connected to his Wi-Fi router, then he might be sniffing your credentials. It might happen you will do some sort of shopping things on his Wi-Fi router, and attacker might be able to steal your credentials. So never ever do the shopping and other things which requires sensitive information on the public networks.
In the previous video, I have given you the brief introduction to the KRACK vulnerability, and I have also talked about the whole concept, like how you can exploit this vulnerability. And in this video, I am going to tell you that how you can prevent yourself from KRACK attack. Now I am adding few things to that particular video, like what causes this vulnerability and how many routers are vulnerable, is your router is vulnerable, and can you also patch this vulnerability. First of all, this vulnerability is completely a local vulnerability, meaning attacker has to be in the range of Wi-Fi router to exploit it. When this attacks become successful, then it will allow an attacker to read all the traffic within a Wi-Fi network. Even attacker could also be able to inject their own data frames, meaning attacker could also send some malicious code through the WPA2 data frames. Since this vulnerability decrypts the traffic within a WPA2 Wi-Fi router, so attacker can also read the sensitive information like credit card numbers, passwords, and even your private emails sent through your WPA2 network. Weakness is found in the wireless technology called WPA2, so it is not affecting any individual product, but it is affecting every single device which is using the WPA2 encryption. Not only that, this vulnerability found due to the flaw in 4-way handshake. So if you want to know more about this vulnerability, then links in the description area. Now how we can get rid of this vulnerability, in short how we can secure ourselves. So following are the few steps that I would definitely recommend you to follow. First, contact your router vendor, email them so that they can release the patch as soon as possible. Once patch will be released, then simply update the router firmware. Since this vulnerability is decrypting the traffic within a WPA2 Wi-Fi router, so you can use extra layer of security in terms of VPNs and SSL encryption. For sending the sensitive emails, use the end-to-end encryption like OpenPGP and things like that. If you are not getting the patch from your router vendor, then simply switch to the 3G and 4G modems and alternative networks. Don't forget to switch off your Wi-Fi if it is not needed. So these are the things which you can do to avoid the KRACK attack. Wireless security breaches are increasing day by day. First, WEP encryption was 100% hackable, then WPA and WPA2 came into the picture, which could also be cracked by brute force and fake access point attack. Meanwhile, for the ease of use, WPS feature was also launched, which also led the thousands of routers vulnerable to the WPS-Phisher attack. But now, Wi-Fi community is launching a Wi-Fi encryption called WPA3, which will overcome the existing flaws in the wireless security. There are 3 major upgrades which will be visible in WPA3. First, you will not be able to brute force a WPA3 Wi-Fi router, since you will only be able to try a limited number of attempts. If you will try to attempt more, then you will be blocked. This process will stop the brute force attack on WPA3 Wi-Fi routers. Second major upgrade is in the prevention from KRACK attack. Few months back, a security researcher found out a new way to exploit Wi-Fi routers, and he named this attack KRACK, also known as the key reinstallation attack. Once a attacker performed this attack within a Wi-Fi network, then he could decrypt all the traffic of a Wi-Fi router, which could result in unauthorized access to credit card information and some other sensitive information. WPA3 will also overcome this security issue. And third major upgrade is they will also get rid of vulnerable WPS feature, and they will also find some other secured alternative so that devices with no screen can connect to Wi-Fi routers easily. So this is it for the video.
Hey, what's up guys, my name is Pavinder from PNP Tutorials and you are watching the PNP Tutorials channel, and in this video we are going to talk about can we hack WPA3 Wi-Fi networks or not. We have been making a couple of videos around WPA2 Wi-Fi routers. WPA3 is a new encryption. So in this video we want to basically check two things. First thing will be, will I be able to deauthenticate the clients connected to the WPA3 Wi-Fi routers? And second thing would be, if I capture the handshake of WPA3 Wi-Fi router, will I able to crack the password of that handshake or not?
Before we go ahead in the video, I just want to let you know that I am using my own router for the demonstration purposes. I am not hacking and harming anyone while making this video. So I don't recommend you guys to perform this attack on any router which you don't own.
Here we have the Kali Linux terminal, and if you type in a command called iwconfig, you will be able to see the WLAN0 here. Now we want to enable the monitor mode. I will type in here airmon ng start WLAN0, enter the password, verify if the monitor mode is enabled or not. Here you can see WLAN0 monitor mode is enabled. So I have opened up my mobile phone. Now I will set up a portable hotspot over here, and this is test AP 5G, and we also want to put in the WPA3, and I will change the security to WPA3, and the AP band would be 5 GHz, and I'll just click on save. So now what I'm gonna do here is that I'm gonna search for that Wi-Fi network. So here we have written a command called sudo airdump ng -band, where this H stands for only seeing the Wi-Fi routers that are running on 5 GHz frequency, followed by WLAN0 mon. Hit enter. Now I should be able to see the test AP over here. Alright guys, so here you can see we have a test AP 5G WPA3 Wi-Fi router, and the encryption is also WPA3. Now let me just try to capture the handshake of this Wi-Fi router. So I'll type in here a command called airdump ng -bssid, where I'm specifying the BSSID, and the BSSID is this 8E90. Just copy this one, and the channel is 157, and we are writing that handshake into a file called WPA3-test AP handshake 5G, and followed by an interface called WLAN0 mon. Hit enter. Here you can see guys, we have a client connected over here, and that client is this. Now the moment has come to figure out whether I will be able to perform the deauthentication attack on this WPA3 Wi-Fi router or not. Now I'll try to run the deauthentication attack. Now if you closely look at the command, here we have type in here sudo replay ng, where A stands for the access point, and here we have the access point, or you can say the Wi-Fi router. -C stands for the client. Here we have the client which is connected to my Wi-Fi router, and then we have specified WLAN0 mon interface, and we have also specified how many number of packets we want to send to this Wi-Fi router in order to deauthenticate the client. So I'll hit enter. As you can see guys, we have tried sending the 1000 deauthentication packets to the router, but the router was not disconnecting the client connected to the Wi-Fi router, which means deauthentication attack does not work in WPA3 Wi-Fi routers. Now in order to see whether we will be able to crack the WPA3 handshake or not, first we will have to capture the handshake. So what I'll do is I'll manually connect my mobile phone to this Wi-Fi router again so that I can capture the handshake, because deauthentication attack is not working for us. And as you can see guys, WPA handshake has been captured because I connected my mobile back to the Wi-Fi again. Now I'll press Ctrl C. Now that handshake should have been saved over here. Here you can see guys, WPA3 test AP handshake. I'll copy the name of the file. And now what I need to do is that I need to run a command called KRACK. I'll need to specify the file name. And then I need to specify the word list. I have already prepared a 11 characters word list. So I'll enter the name of that word list and hit enter. And as you can see guys, here it is saying maybe WPA3 not yet supported. So the authentication mechanism that works in WPA3 is different from WPA2. In WPA2, the authentication mechanism was 4-way handshake. Here in WPA3 they are using SAE authentication, which is different from 4-way handshake, and that's the reason why that handshake was not having the encrypted password. If that handshake would have been having the encrypted password, then KRACK would have been able to crack the password. So in this video we have seen guys, deauthentication attack does not work on the WPA3 Wi-Fi router. And we cannot also crack the passwords of WPA3 handshakes.
Thank you guys for watching the complete Wi-Fi hacking course. If you guys liked the video, then give it a big thumbs up. And if you're new to this channel, then don't forget to subscribe the channel for more upcoming videos. I have many other courses in pipeline that I will put over here on YouTube for free of cost. And if you think you have learned something from this video, then I will request you for some donation. My PayPal link is given in the description below, and it must be flashing on my screen as well. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys liked it.